Hello, the Great Egg Race. It's all about problem solving and egg racing. Once again, we have three teams ready to do battle with this week's problem. But first, the other ingredient to the show, the Eggmobile racing. Let's go over to Hilary Henson for a report on Radio London's races.
Today we're in County Hall, London, for the North London heats of the Great Egg Race.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Nearly 60 competitors are here today to see who'll cover the 12-metre track in the shortest time. And there are plenty of ideas on what makes a fast eggmobile. All they have in common is the egg and the small rubber band to drive it. Many designers, like Tony Bray and his daughter Georgina, have used a fusee in their design. Here, a thread is attached to one end of the band. Instead of winding this directly around the axle, the thread goes onto a carefully designed cone, the fusee, starting at the large end and spiralling down to the thinnest part. When the band's at full stretch at the start of the race, its contraction will be strongest. As the force drops, the thread unwinds towards the large end of the cone, so drive is constant.
1, go.
John Elmes built a fusee into his Advocar. Next, it's Pythagoras running against Little Beggar.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And they're off. Little Beggar's in the lead. No, it's Pythagoras. A great race. How do they do it? Well, both these machines work on the same principle in that they have a rubber band and a drive thread wound onto a conical fusee. But apart from that, there's quite a few differences. John, can you tell me how yours works, how the drive system works?
Yes, certainly. Now, the acceleration phase of the vehicle is split into two to try and match the characteristic of the rubber band. The fusee, which is designed to give maximum energy input and acceleration over the shortest possible distance, and the outer bit of pulley is to use the lower residual energy in the band to maintain the speed over the rest of the course.
So yours drives the full length of the track?
Yes, it drives the full length.
Yes. Now, how about yours? Can we have a look at it?
Well, yes, the idea of this was to get the energy in as quickly as possible. Well, in this case, got a very large fusee. The main design problem there is to try and get a tyre that gives sufficient grip to get the energy in as quickly as possible.
So that you don't just skid on the spot?
Oh, yes, you mustn't slip, otherwise you waste energy.
So how far does yours actually drive down the track?
Only for about a metre.
Really? And then the rest of the way it just freewheels?
That's right, yes.
Yes. Now John and Ian's different ideas are having their final test. Little Beggar takes an early lead and second place in today's competition. On the left, Keith Jackson with Bandbreaker. And this race gave him the speed to become the Radio London champion.
We'll be seeing Keith again in the second heats later on in the programme. Now to meet our teams for this week. First of all, the beer makers. From Allied Breweries, we have Colin West, Richard Fricker and Jim Jennings. Now, if you have beer, the next thing you need, glasses. And we have some glass makers from Pilkingtons. They are Gary Pennington, Chris Davis and Brian Quirk. So we've got the beer, we've got the glasses, the drinkers. From Liverpool University, we have Peter Andrews, David Cooper and Jim Miles. Actually, they're from the physics department of Liverpool University. They've already got the problem, so let's ask Heinz Wolf to explain it to us.
I should like to start by introducing this week's specialist judge. He's Dr. Anthony Flint, who is a consulting civil engineer with a special interest in bridges and stressed structures. Now, why bridges and structures which might be stressed? You find me here standing in the middle of a bottomless chasm. On either side of me, there are rocky ledges. The team's problem will be to construct a contrivance in the next 2.5 hours which will allow them, standing on this ledge here, to retrieve that bowl of beans weighing 10 pounds from that ledge on the other side, and they will have 3 minutes from the start of the actual test starting to retrieve the bowl and as many of the beans as they can. We'll tell you later on precisely how we're going to award the marks, but it's by no means a simple problem, because the kind of materials which we've given them will really make it rather difficult to do this effectively. But let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if we're going to whip in the middle, we've got length of wood there which is strong enough to take any bending at that point, which we can extend on.
Yes.
At that point. So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
So just going back to that original.
And then I think we're going to need some kind of triangular webbing to strengthen the tubes. And as the webbing, we'll either have to use the elastic or the rope. I think the rope would be the best, because the elastic might come in use for something else.
Have we got any flat slabs of wood? That's pretty heavy, though, isn't it? That's cork. That's. Oh well, yes, we're ignoring this. We're sitting on top of this. We're ignoring this, aren't we? It's a pity it's not a bit bigger. There's card here. Oh, there's the strips of tin plate, aren't there?
Tying point for the supporting cable.
Yeah.
The greater that distance,
The better.
the better. The lower the compression in the cane, and the lower the tension in that cable, in that cord. Yes.
I'll go along with that, yeah.
Right.
Right, so the thing to do first of all is check the length and test the strength of that beam.
Yes. Yeah.
And design that first of all, and let's see what we're doing.
Right.
Once we've decided on that, we can then decide on what capturing mechanism we want.
Yes.
Which of our two alternatives we're going to.
Phase 2.
That's going to be phase 2, yeah. So I would say that we concentrate on this initially.
Yep. Fine.
Okay.
Shall we grab a couple of canes and just see what they feel like?
Well, Tony, what kind of problems do you think they've got ahead of them in trying to actually reach the beans?
The problems are really the types and shortage of materials, I think. They have enough material in length to reach across the gap, but they're all of different bits of types and sizes. They don't join together easily. They won't by themselves have enough strength to act as a fishing rod, and the ingenuity that will be required to provide either a type of crane or a type of transporter bridge, which is partially mechanical and partially structural. But the key to success will be the best use of the materials they've got.
They've also got a bit of a problem in that the bowl, the ledges of the bowl, the lip of the bowl is flexible. And if they're going to grip the bowl, they have to be quite clever in devising means of doing that.
Well, they're all very busy here, but let's go to the second round heats at the London Transport Museum with Hilary.
And from the transport of the past to the latest and fastest of eggmobiles. Once again, we've got 3 competitors taking part for the Hartmann Fibre Trophy, but only one of them will go through to the semi-final. And we have today from Radio London, Keith Jackson with his machine Bandbreaker. Is it going to break its bones?
Oh, I hope not.
So do I. And from north of the border, Radio Scotland, we have John Reid with his machine. Now, what's yours called?
Scorpio.
Scorpio. And then another Scot, but this time south of the border, Radio Derby, Jock Smith. The first race will be between Radio London and Radio Scotland, so can you both go to the starting line, please? While they're doing that, Jock, perhaps you can tell me a little bit about your machine. We've been thinking about the importance of acceleration. How quickly do you accelerate your machine?
Well, the design is intended to bring it up to the maximum speed, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, in about 1.5 meters. And from then on it's cruising, so I'm relying on the fact that it's fairly free to roll.
We've got one machine in place. There was a slight delay on the other one, but I think perhaps if we hand over to Peter now, see how they do.
Both nearly ready. Right. You could come forward about another ½ centimetre if you wanted. Scotland, you can come forward a fraction if you wish. Are you both ready? You are. 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
fast time there from Radio London, 4.36 seconds. Unfortunately, a crash from Radio Scotland. No time there.
How many inches have you put on the bumps? So we could do about 2%.
Well, we're about 1 hour into the problem now. Tony, how do you think they're faring so far?
The brewers are moving along quite fast now. I think we're seeing a very rapid acceleration in progress there. They're using a nautical approach to the problem, it appears, and working as a team of 3 together. They're working largely on the structure at the moment, it seems to me.
And Heinz, what about the Pilkington team?
Well, unlike the Allied breweries, who are really making a 1914 aeroplane, not using the sort of technology, it's a rather more brute force approach, where they are using the stiff members which they've got to make, in effect, a very long fishing rod. And I think they're now at least detached one of their members to make a grappling device which will engage with the lips of the burl in order to suspend the burl from the end of the fishing rod. I think they're going to have some problems about the pivoting on their side of the chasm, because the forces at that point are going to be very considerable.
And the Liverpool University team, they seem to be using a similar system to Pilkington's.
I think it's differing a bit. They're lagging behind, I think, in the approach that they're using, and it looks to me rather more as if they're going towards a beam rather than a cantilever type of construction. They're strengthening the middle of their structure, and they haven't really yet tackled the grappling system for picking up the beans or the bow.
The interesting point about the Allied brewery attempt is that they've now made, in effect, a beam, a stress structure, which has some stiffness in 2 directions, with very economic use of material. They haven't made use of any of their big cardboard tubes, their boomstick, anything of this kind, so they'll have little penalty from the actual weight of their lever. The stresses are being taken by string or wire, and I think it's a very interesting structure with an approach which is quite different from that, and I feel rather more sophisticated than that which we are seeing in the other 2 teams.
The Pilkington's grappling device, it seems flimsy, but I've seen they've actually lifted the bowl up several times, and I'm quite intrigued by
I think
that.
they lifted the bowl, but what they haven't done is to yet find out how they get it onto the bowl in the first place. And also, of course, they have to somehow attach it so that it could be hauled up on their rod or cantilever, whatever it is that they're building.
The Liverpool University are also working on a grappling device based on sections of wire clothes hangers, sort of universal material, which at the present looks to me as if it's rather more likely to be successful, because there are spaces at the top of it which are about the diameter of the bowl.
And much more controllable, I think. It's likely to be adjustable from a remote distance,
yes,
whereas the Pilkington one at the moment looks to be much too
it naturally falls over the rim of the bowl.
It's a very nice mechanical device. They've concentrated much more on the mechanics and rather less on the structure, I think, and their problem was going to be to get this thing, this grappling device in position and lift it. I think the others are in the other position, having a structure with nothing to lift with it.
Well, everybody here is putting their faith in string and bamboo. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the second heat in today's egg racing with Hillary.
Well, at this stage of events, there's no question about who's in the lead, because John Reid unfortunately failed to complete the course. However, he's got his second chance now. He's in the green lane, and next to him, appearing for the first time, Jock Smith from Radio Derby. So, over to you, Peter.
Now, you can both come up to the line if you wish. Do you wish to? No? Right. Are you both ready? Fine. 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
So I'm afraid you failed to complete it again. Jock, you got 4.14. Not a bad time for the first run. Okay. Well, best of luck next time. Sorry about that for you.
So we've just about an hour to go now, and Allied Breweries are putting their machine under its first test. Heinz.
The thing which I like is their way of gathering the bowl up. I think the intention is to invert that plastic bag, which is like a purse string down the bottom, over the bowl, pull the purse strings tight, and then by some means, which I'm not quite happy about at the moment, getting it back onto their rocky shelf.
Yes, they're acting as poachers with snares. Their problem in getting it back, sorry, their structural problem here is one of preventing buckling of their boom, I think.
Well, the purse strings are tightening.
Drawing it in, yes.
Yep.
Now, they've got a problem, of course, that they haven't got anything to push against. They've got to waggle the bag underneath the bowl.
It's coming, it's going
Yes,
off.
and it's going to...
It's going to come off the
it's going to
pedestal
come
any
off the
moment now.
pedestal. On the floor. Well, I think nothing's broken.
Nothing's broken. It didn't spill any beans either.
They just they had a lot of stiffness.
They do a lot of work on their rigidity, don't they?
Yes, I think it's stiffness is the problem.
Well, Allied Brewers have got a lot of work to do in strengthening their beam, and Pilkingtons have got the same problem. I think they're trying to strengthen their beam.
Well, I'm not too sure. Pilkingtons have the two halves of the Pilkingtons project team have now come together. The grabbing bit is now being tied onto the end of their beam. They've strengthened the top of their beam, or the process is doing so by having a wire running along the top of it. It looks also as they're going to overcome the part of how to separate the two parts of their grappling device.
I think their difficulty is that it isn't a wire, but it's a piece of nylon along the top, and it's going to be too extensible. They've used wooden spoons as the king post to their cantilever, which I think they're building. But I just noticed them testing the joints just now, and the string was extending far too much. So
Are you sure it's string?
I think is it wire? Yes. They're using wire. Good. Well, then, but even with that, they were getting quite a lot of movement.
Liverpool University have managed to strengthen their beam, and now they're going to put a lot of muscle, throw their own personal weight on the other end to try and keep it taut. Heinz, do you think this is going to work?
Well, certainly there has to become some kind of counterweight. I think they've come up recently, and I would have their chances, to my mind, are a little better than they were early on, because in spite of their joints perhaps not being as clever as some of the others, they've now strengthened everything with plastic tape. And I should imagine the breaking strain of the washing line, which is going to take some of the pull.
There's a hammer sticking out there, I can see.
Well, they are really very short of length. The teams are all short of long members, and anything can be pressed into use. There's a rolling pin used somewhere else.
They have tested out their grappling device now quite successfully. There it is, yes.
Well, it makes use of the clothes hangers very nicely.
Yes.
Well, all three devices are similar in some ways and much different in other ways. How are you going to score this?
Well, out of a total possible of 100, they're going to get 20 for getting the bowl, a possible of 40 for getting the beans, 10 for doing it rather quickly, and 30 for elegance, audacity, and any other appealing features of their design.
Fine. Meanwhile, we're going straight back to the London Transport Museum now with Hilary to find out just which competitor is going to make it to the semi-finals.
And so to our final race today. The fastest time, 4.14 seconds, is held by Jock Smith of Radio Derby, who's racing in the green lane. But Keith Jackson of Radio London, who's in the yellow lane, is not far behind him with 4.36 seconds. Is this going to be the race that breaks the 4-second barrier? We'll find out. Over to you, Peter.
Radio London, you're absolutely perfect. Jock, you're a little behind. Are you happy? Fine, OK. You're both ready? 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
And he's broken the barrier. He's got 3.94 seconds, so he's broken the 4-second barrier. Unfortunately, a crash from Radio London. Can I have a word with you, Jock? Did you expect to get past 4 seconds?
No, I didn't actually. The thing that I thought of was that in a previous interview, I told you that I was going to accelerate in the 1.5 meters. Well, just before that race, I don't know whether you noticed, but I changed the wheels. So that I now took 2 meters to finish my acceleration, and perhaps that paid off because there you are. We'll see how we get on.
Will you do even faster in the semi-finals?
Oh, I see. Am I through to the semi-finals? Well,
I
yes.
think so.
Yes, I hope so. The thing that is in my mind now is that we're only in the 3rd week. So we've got another 3 programs to go before I know what the opposition's like, Hilary.
So Jock from Radio Derby takes the 3rd place in the semi-final, and he's going to be racing against Malcolm McIver from Radio Stoke and Barry Lockwood from Radio Cleveland. But that's in 4 weeks' time. Next week we have competitors from Radio Solent, Radio Wales, and the winner of the South London heat. Back to the problem solvers.
Well, I didn't think it was possible, but there you are. On the very last run, Jock Smith absolutely shattered the 4-second barrier, just under 4 seconds. Meanwhile, here we're ready for our tests. We're going to start with Allied Breweries. Are you ready, gents? Yes, okay. Lovely. You can lower your boom into position, but remember, it's a steaming, bottomless chasm. Anything that touches the floor between your platform and the beans is lost totally. You understand that? We're ready. Heinz.
Go.
Got it. Got it.
Just the back right angle.
Is it on or not?
Yes.
Right. Well done. You'd like to take that one, Joe? Across that way a bit. Do a jiggle.
The piranhas have got
And it's so deep it hasn't even hit the bottom yet. There.
Well, that was the thing that we did right.
Well, General, actually, a test. You haven't really got time for another test. So we'll move on to our next team. Now it's the turn of Pilkington Brothers and their Beanstalk. Are you ready, gentlemen? 3 minutes, starting with Heinz.
Go.
Down onto the bin. Down onto the bin first. Stabilise it. Stabilise it.
Okay.
Steady.
It's a long time, gents. Long time.
Okay, that's the one, that's the one, that's the one. Hang on. Oh, that's the one. We've got first time. We've got first time.
Hang on a minute,
We've got a first time. Off we go, off we go, off we go.
Got the bin?
Off we go. Off we go. Keep that bin, Gary. Keep the bin. Keep the bin. You've got the bin. Keep the bin, baby. Keep that bin, Gary. Keep the bin. Keep the bin. Whoa, it's not doing too much. Slow down, boys. Slow down. We've got loads of time. Slow down, slow down. Don't fall off the back, please. Well, go on. Keep it going. Keep it going. We've got it. We've got it. Keep it going. Watch you don't fall off the back. Watch the back. Keep it coming. Only another foot. Another foot. Come on. Keep it coming. Keep it there. Keep it there.
Oh, they've done it!
Well done. Well done. 1 minute and 16 seconds.
And now our third team with a contraption that looks as though it's come from Liverpool Docks. Actually, it's from Liverpool University. You ready, gents? Heinz?
Go.
Gently round and down.
3 minutes.
Go down, gently. Down. Whoa. Lower, Jim. Up a little. Oh dear.
Bags of time.
Up on the beam. Down on the rope. Jim. That's it, Jim. Down. Pull the beam up a bit.
Is this near hook, isn't it?
Well, take it easy. Don't panic, don't keep... just... Why won't it work? It did before.
Last time we did it with less rope on.
Less rope.
You can lower the beam down.
Lower the beam. Okay, take the weight on the rope, Jim. Right, up. Up on the rope, Dave. Take it easy. Not so far. Right, can you pull, lift it? Careful.
2 minutes and 3 seconds.
Well, 3 breathtaking tests, and we're all still breathless, waiting for the marks. Heinz.
Well, first Allied breweries. Unfortunately, on getting the bowl, the beans on time, they score 0 because they fed their beans to the god of the chasm. But in elegance, Tony?
Well, I rated this one rather highly. It was a very sophisticated attempt at a rigging system which used the naval principles with cross trees and shrouds, which unfortunately we didn't see tested because of the loss of the beans. And I also gave a high rating for the snaring arrangement, which worked so well in their earlier tests, and it was sad that they lost it. So that I rated them as at 25 for elegance and audacity.
But this gives Allied breweries a total then of 25. The next, Liverpool, they had a successful run and scored full marks for the bowl and beans, giving 60 on that account. They did it in just under 2.5 minutes, so they score 5 on time, giving 65 altogether. And Tony, on the elegance count?
I felt that Liverpool made the fullest use of their materials, and they also combined structure with the mechanical system in their derrick, and used their manpower economically. I felt it was a very laudable effort, not quite so exciting perhaps as the Allied Brewers one, but nevertheless well worth 20 marks.
So this gives them a total of 85. And last, Pilkingtons, well, they were also successful in their fishing expedition and scored 60 on count of the bows and the beans. They were fast and scored a full 10 marks on their time allowance, giving them a total of 70 on that account. And for your part, Anthony?
Well, again, I think they did make full use of their materials, but it was less exciting in the sense that they relied much more on their youthful physical efforts in lifting the structure back into position. Didn't use the mechanical advantage, and I rated them at 15.
Which gives them 85 also. So now we have the problem of breaking a tie, because the elegance marks were, of course, assigned before we actually ran the trial. And we decided, after the consultation, that we would break the tie by actually taking into account the actual times which the two teams achieved. On a net basis, the Pilkington team did their tie in 1 minute 16 seconds against the Liverpool team of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And I therefore declare the Pilkington team to be the winners of this week's problem.
So that's the result. We'd like to thank Allied Breweries and Liverpool University and this week's winners, Pilkington Glass. We'd also like to thank our judges, Professor Heinz Wolf and Dr. Anthony Flint, and thank you for watching. Look in next week. We'll have 3 more teams and another problem and some more egg racing, and we'll see if anyone else can beat that 4-second barrier. Goodbye.